Alright, what's up everyone and welcome to my November 2023 reading wrap up. And yes, I know this video is like 2.5 to 3 weeks late. Should have been posted at the beginning of December, but here we are. Better late than never. And then I still have to do the December wrap up in like a week and a half when this month ends. And then I'll do I'm not gonna do a 2024 preview or what I look to read, want to read. Well, I might do that. I might do a 2024, like what I want to read or what I'm looking forward to reading, maybe. But 2024 bookish goals thing, might do that after in a few weeks after I do the December wrap up in like a week and a half. But here we are for the November 2023 reading wrap up. And I'm going to try to keep this in order. This is going to be like, a book haul and a recent reads. Kind of like what I'm reading now type of deal. So I'll try to keep this in order. So I'll start with I bought this off Amazon for like, was it $1 or was it like $3? So I couldn't find it at half-price books. It is The Lions of Lucerne by Brad Thor, and I haven't read it yet. But I read one of his books years ago, and I've been wanting to jump from the start and mess with it. And I started reading another one of his books, and then I got kind of sidetracked. But I was liking the one while I was reading it. So I was like, let me just start from the beginning on this. And this is the first book in his Scott Harvath series that's been going on, I want to say, damn near 20 years or so. Yeah, since 2002. So this has been going on for over 21 years, this series. And he's still doing it today. I think he's been writing a one book every year. It's like, it's a thriller. Like he says on the cover, a thriller, a political thriller, spy genre. So that's cool. Hopefully I get into this in either January or February. I'll start reading it. Next, I finished the Ballad of Song, Birds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which is the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. I already did a review of the book and the movie. This fucking book is in my top 3 favorite books of all time. Not the entire series, just this specific book. Although I will be rereading the trilogy, or at least the first book. But hopefully I get through the whole trilogy in 2024. And then if I have time, I can reread this in 2024 or reread it in early 2025. I can't wait to reread this one. This was fucking crazy. Like I said, I already did the review of the movie and the book. So, but just to shorten it, like I said, book 5 stars, in the one of my top 3 favorite books of all time. And the movie didn't live up to the book, but it was a fair movie on its own. But it didn't live up to the book, and I didn't think it was as good of an adaptation as it could have been if they hadn't pulled back and held back on certain things for time constraints and PG rating or PG-13 rating and all that other type of stuff. But I explained that in the review. I already did reviews of those. If you want to see those videos, go to the channel, and they shouldn't be too far from the top. Like I said, that both of those were in November, so yeah. So alright, next I went to Half Price Books. Yeah, went to Half Price Books. Picked up The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and I read it, slowly read it through it in a couple weeks in November, and I gave it 3 stars. It was cool, it's a good I feel like he was basically saying the same thing over and over again. It's only on like 127 pages, but he felt like he kept saying the same thing over and over again in different ways, which is basically don't. It's basically lean into your strengths and attack your enemy's weaknesses, and you do both at the same time, you're gonna fucking win the war. And obviously, this can be applied to different things in life, not just war fighting. It can be about the business, relationships. No, it's like just psychology in general. It's good for that. But it did feel like he was basically saying the same thing over and over again. And I just feel like there are some obvious parts that are. I mean, pretty much any of it can be adapted outside of military and war, and to business and life in general. But if you really want to like delve deep on it with that, you'd have to like spend more time with it and cherry pick. Oh, I can apply this to life in this way, or I can apply this part. But in general, it was just saying, lean into your strengths, attack your enemy's weaknesses, and you should win the war. And be disciplined. And that's it. So I gave it 3 stars. I'm pretty sure I've read this before years ago. So this is my second time reading this. Maybe I'll reread it again someday and cherry pick it and apply it in different ways and think about it in different ways as I'm rereading it another time. Like cherry picking the different parts. But yeah, it was a pretty quick read, cool read. So that same day at Half Price Books, I also picked up The Beautiful and Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald, because The Great Gatsby is also in my top 3 favorite books of all time. And I've read This Side of Paradise like my senior year of high school, and I liked it. I remember liking it. I might have to reread that eventually. Yeah, I probably will reread that eventually. I want to read all his books eventually. But I keep trying to read this one on Kindle, and I keep getting sidetracked. And I'm starting to feel like I just enjoy the reading experience more if it's a physical book and not a Kindle on my phone. Because I guess it helps with the feeling of, putting my phone down, just being with the book, whereas when you're on the phone on the Kindle, you're still staring at a screen and you can get easily distracted by your other apps or people calling or texting you. Not that people call or text me that much, but I do think I like I like the physical books better. It can be convenient to have a Kindle, especially on your phone, for traveling purposes and having a whole fucking library on your phone, pretty much. I do like the physical better. So, but when I have read it on the Kindle, I have enjoyed the book. I just haven't finished it. So I don't get that far into it. I don't think. I only get about fucking who knows. I don't get that far into it, but I mean, yeah. I think I probably get like 10-20% through it. And I've read on Kindle, so hopefully I can help me go by faster reading the physical book. Because I do have some level of momentum. So yeah, I want to get to this one also in January or February. Cause I'm trying to stick to like reading the books I have before like going out and buying new ones. I'm still gonna go buy out some new ones, like to buy the ones that I'm gonna read next. But I do want to get to the ones I'm already owning. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And I enjoy F. Scott Fitzgerald's style. He has this like very specific style, like his style is his style, and I like it. And I like his characters. And from reading that, what I really liked was like the psychology of the characters and the philosophy that they were exploring. Like, the times I've read it or tried to read it, so I definitely want to finish it and see where those characters go when the story goes. Next thing I bought was Seon the Storm, which is the second book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which is the first series in the Grishaverse universe. So yeah, definitely I already read Shadow and Bone earlier this year. Love that shit. I gave it 4 or 5, maybe 4. I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't have the middle book syndrome, the second book syndrome, where the sequel is just blah. But yeah, I gotta finish this. Also, January or February, and then get to Ruin and Rising to finish off the trilogy. Then I can read the Six of Crows duology, and then I can watch the Netflix show, because the Netflix show it combines this trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. So I know it's two seasons of the Netflix show. The first season is the Shadow and Bone book and the Six of Crows book put together. And the second season is Seon the Storm and Ruin and Rising and Crooked Kingdom put together. So I'm interested to see how they pace that out. But also I have to finish the book to know the story before I read it, before I watch it. So yeah, I really enjoyed Shadow and Bone. I really hope this doesn't have second book syndrome, so I can get through the rest of the series and watch the Netflix show, and then I'll read what's the name of the thing? I think the King of Scars. I'll go through the whole. Hopefully, I enjoy it enough so I can continue and get through the whole series. Yeah. So, and finally, I am currently reading The Templar Legacy by Steve Berry, because he's definitely one of my favorite authors. I've read 2 or 3 of his other books in this series, in this Count Malone series, but I kind of read them out of order. I read Emperor's Tomb. I read The Jefferson Key, and I read The King's Deception. I don't think I read Emperor's Tomb. I think those are the only 2 I read. Jefferson Key and King's Deception, and I really love the way he uses history. Obviously, some stuff he makes up, some stuff he takes actually from history, and he turns it into his own story. And with this, it's a thriller, kind of in that same realm of the Lions of Lucerne, and yeah, I love the way he takes history and makes a thriller, a modern day thriller, using historical events, and mixes some of his own fiction in there to taste things up. And I'd be reading the book for wondering, not really knowing which stuff is real history and which stuff he makes up. But he does. I think he does explain that in the book notes, or the author's note. He explains some of the stuff of what he made up and what was real, or you can actually just research it yourself to find out what was real and what he made up. Yeah, but this one is obviously about the Knights Templar, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm gonna do a review of it, because I'm not sure if you won't even give a fuck about a review of this. This book came out 06, 07. Came out in 06. No, so maybe I'll do a review, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, I'm on page 380 out of 482, so I only have 100 pages left. Well, 102 pages left. So, 102, 103 pages left. Hopefully I can get through it by the end of this week. And then I'll maybe try to finish I'll maybe try to speed through this in a week, but then again, I don't know if I might have time for that. So if I get through this by the end of this week, then I'll have 1 week left in the year. So I'm like, maybe I can like speed through this, or I will run to half price books and buy something else that's short enough that I think I'll have like a better chance of speeding through in a week. Like Alice in Wonderland, or what was that one book? That Ernest Hemingway book. I think it was short. Maybe I could finish that in a week. Cause sometimes my reading speed varies. Sometimes I can go through 100 pages in a day. Sometimes I'll get through like 10 or 20 pages in a day. So my reading speed varies. So yeah, I'll see. Like either I'll try to finish that last week, or I'll go to half price books and get a shorter book that's like 250 pages or less, and try to and go through that in a week. Let me see. 'Cause if I did 20 pages, it's 30. Yeah, so I'll go like I said, go get the book that's like 250 pages or less, and go through that for the last week. Or maybe like one book that's like 125, and or two books that's 220, that's 125, or some shit like that. That'll be what I'll do for the last week. But yeah, ready to finish this one. I'm gonna go buy the sequel to this. This is the first book in this because I read like the 8th and the 9th book already. And this is another one that's been going on for almost 20 years, like a book every year. I think one year he even released two books, but yeah, this is the first book in the series. I decided to go back to the beginning and read them in order. So I already got, so after this, obviously there's a second one, so I'm gonna go buy the second one in this, but I won't start it until maybe March or April. Yeah, I want to finish this one by the end of this week. I only have 100 pages left, so I can do like 30 pages a day and do, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, do about 33 pages a day at least. Or I can get through it today and tomorrow and have it done by tomorrow. So, we'll see. Yeah, real liking it so far. Yeah, that's my November wrap up. I will see you in a couple weeks for the December wrap up, and then for potentially the January the 2024 goals, but I'll see about that video. And yeah, that's it. Might just I might do an author 2 video today. Yeah, so stick around for the channel for booktube, author 2 videos, and obviously reviews, movie reviews, TV, yeah, well, maybe some TV, I don't know. Movie reviews, and obviously, the channel is called Cold Mouse ASMR, so obviously, it's mostly ASMR, but I still want to do this other stuff too. So I will. And I will see you in the next video. Let me know if you read any of these books, and what you thought of them. No spoilers, and we'll see.